Hello, guys. Welcome to the month of March 2026. The theme for this month is her power, her hormones, insulin, and the fight for our health. As women, especially women of color, we cannot fight for our power, our rights, or family and our community with neglecting the very system that fuels us, our hormones, and our metabolic health. Our health is not separated from our activists. It is our foundation, ladies. So we cannot separate the two. We cannot separate the two. What this month means to me and for so many of us, women have fought for voting rights, workplace fairness, education, reproduction rights. But hysterically, women's health, especially Black women, health has been overlooked. Chronic illness extremely affects women of color. High rate of type 2 diabetes, high rate of hypertension, blood pressure problems. If you didn't know, that's what that is. High rate of maternity death. We cannot build a legacy, ladies, while chronically fatigued. We cannot build a legacy, ladies, while chronically fatigued. If you are going to leave a movement, if you're leading a movement or any kind, you must start with your health, ladies. It is necessary to start with your health. So we cannot lead a movement unless we start with our health. You heard me. Women have fought for voting rights, workplace fairness, education, reproduction rights, and women of color have fought even harder to be seen. When we say women fought for rights, we must understand that women of color were often fighting on two fronts, fighting for sexuality, um, fighting for racism, fighting for economics inclusion, and fighting for healthcare neglect. And many times they were excluded from the women's led movement. That hurts. That's hurtful, and that hurts just hearing that because I know what it's like. Voting rights. The 19th century the amendment gave women, the 19th Amendment, I'm sorry, gave women the right to vote in 1920. But many Black women, Indigenous women, Latin women, and Asian women were still blocked from voting for decades due to discrimination laws and practice. So, for women of color, voting wasn't just about gender. It was about visibility, voice, and survival, as it is still today. As it is today in 2026, forgive me. The level of prolonged resistance requires mental strength, emotional endurance, and physical resistance. Chronic stress from systematic struggles impact cortisol. Cortisol impact insulin. Insulin impact weight gain, energy, inflammation, and hormone balance. The fight has life consequences. Yes, consequences come with this fight if we're not taking care of our foundation, which is our health. Workplace fairness, women fought for owning property, earning equal pay, earning equal pay, holding leadership roles, access to corporate space, and building business. Women of color often had to be twice as educated, still stands in 2026, work twice as hard, still stands in 2026, earn half the recognition, still stand, carry both professional and cultural expectations. That's heavy. That pressure creates what we call today high achiever burnout. With all that comes chronic stress, which elevates cortisol, an elevated blood pressure, an elevated blood sugar, fatigue, belly fat, cravings, and mood swings. So when a high performing woman of color say, I'm exhausted, it's not a weakness. It is she's exhausted and it's okay. It's okay. Education has denied too many women of color the ability to read. Well, it denied too many women of color, but historically, the ability to read, attend university, and enter professional schools, become doctors, lawyers, and entrepreneurs was a radical act. Now, many women of color are first generation college graduate. I am one. First in their family to break financial cycles, supporting entire families while building careers. This generation responsibility is heavy. It is very heavy, very heavy. And generational stress can become generational metabolic dysfunction. And what does that look like? That looks like the health dysfunctional is being trickled down to the next generation. And let me give you a short story of me. I changed my health because I did not know what a healthy 50-year-old looked like in my family at the time when I shift to a healthy lifestyle. I was in my late 20s and I didn't know what a healthy 50-year-old looked like. And I wanted to change the health dysfunction in my family, that narrative. And I wanted my generation, the generation behind me, to know what it was like to have a healthy person in the family. But if we don't change that now, we don't change that generation. It still becomes dysfunctional. We must ask who is teaching high achiever women how to regulate their nervous system. I regulate my nervous system every morning. Yes, we must ask who is teaching that. The reproduction rights and health care. Women have fought for their body, access to birth control, safe childbirth, medical decisions, making power. For women of color, reproduction health disparities still exists. High maternity mortality rate, high rate of fibroids, high rate of PCOS and insulin resistant, high rate of undiagnosed metabolic disorder. Undiagnosed. Did you hear me say un? That's a high rate. That is why hormone education is not optional. It is needed. Insulin resistance is deeply connected to PCOS, infertility, irregular cycles, weight gain, and inflammation. If a woman is fighting for her body or any movements, like the rights or for any rights or movements, let's understand how our body works so we can make sure that we have our foundation set and ready to fight this fight or have this movement right along. We no longer get to neglect that. The deeper truth, women of color have historically carried and still is carrying. We have historically carried and still is carrying communities, movements, family, business, church, and culture. But who is carrying them? Who is carrying us? That is where your message, that is where the transformation gets to come, guys. That is where the transformation gets to come. We get to shift. We get to shift. So this month is not only about hormone struggle, it's about shifting from survival to sustainability. That's where the transformation of this message come. It's about shifting from survival to sustainability. And we can shift, guys. We can shift. The shift can be taught. We can shift. We are not dishonoring our ancestors by resting. We are honoring them by regulating. It's okay to take a pause. We are not weak for choosing whole foods. And I'm not talking about the store whole foods. I'm talking about whole foods that we get to put in our mouth to nourish our foundation. We are wise for protecting our health. We are wise for protecting our health. We are not selfish for lifting weights. No, I'm a weightlifter and I love it. We are strengthening the vessel that carries the purpose. We are strengthening the vessel that carries the purpose. Guys, our grandmothers survived. Our mothers preserved. Now it's our responsibility to thrive metabolically, hormonally, and spiritually. Yes. Women of color leading movements, breaking generational cycles, building wealth, raising children, caring for elderlies, then stable with a stable blood sugar is not uncommon. It is a structure and a strategy. It's not uncommon. We can do this. We need to balance our hormones. We need to have regular blood, high blood pressure. Blood sugar and blood pressure. Regular blood sugar, blood pressure. We need our hormones balanced so we can still fight this fight, guys. And this month theme is her power, her hormones, insulin, the fight for our health while we're fighting for movements. Our health is not separate from our activists. It is our foundation. I'm here to encourage you to check in with yourself and see if you are feeding your foundation while you're building a career, while you're being a mom, while you're helping your elderly parents, while you are starting a business, while you accessing corporate spaces, while you fighting for equal pay, while you fighting to be seen, while you're fighting to be heard. Is your foundation stable? I'll see you guys later this month. Welcome to March. Happy Women's Month. March 8th. Happy Women's Day, but happy Women History Month. I am here to support you. I look forward to talking with you guys and coming back with more information. Thank you for your time. Have an amazing day, but have a fantastic March. Talk with you soon.